Alright, let's see if we can make this jump here. We should be able to. Come on, chopper. Oh, that bump at the end. What's up, guys? My name is Khan, and we're back today in Scrap Mechanic. Now, one of my favorite things in Scrap Mechanic has always been motorbikes. And, you know, once we figured out how to do the suspension glitch and, you know, have things automatically lean with sensors, you know, motorbikes really was just such an awesome thing. And this was one of the motorbikes that I had made a while ago, the sport motorbike, and it's got the swing arm suspension in the back, and then there's the straight suspension on the forks in the front. And, you know, it drives pretty well, and it'll balance itself, but it's really quite large. I mean, it's really large. Compared to the size of the little dwarf dude, it is very large. Now, the main reason, of course, for the size of the bike is actually the size of the seat. And, you know, there aren't really very many small seats in Scrap Mechanic. And so I decided, you know what, it's about time. I don't really normally use mods, but for once, I'm going to use mods, and I'm going to make some pocket bikes. So this is the original pocket bike, which is really quite awesome. And it might seem like there's a lot going on, but it's not too bad. I mean, there's a fork on the front with some steering and some single suspension on the front there. And then, of course, there's a sway bar on the back. Now, it has a couple of dead stops. That's what this is here. That's a dead stop. And there's another one on the other side. And that, of course, prevents this from folding out. But you can see if we put it on the lift, it's kind of at this weird 90 degrees. And then we take it off the lift, and it goes into that nice little thing. Now, we just kind of sit on top of the engine, because, you know, and it's using, you know, the Durf mod blocks, so it's got the invisible seat there that you can sit on top of, and of course we've got some fake handlebars that it kind of, the guy there kind of pushes, and we've got the steering that controls the sensor angles, so it will in fact lean into the corners. And it uses a single suspension glitch right built into the back there on a sort of double bearing system to do all that. So it's actually kind of awesome. Like, you can drive it around, and I really like it. I think it's a lot of fun, just as a little sort of pocket bike. And you know what? It's more realistically scaled, I find, to the size of the Scrap Mechanic dudes. I mean, it does have a tendency to spin like that. You know, overall, it's pretty awesome, and it wouldn't be possible without the modded parts. So it uses, obviously, some modded wheels and the modded seats, and then just a 3x1 engine. So the rest of it is vanilla. You could use instead of the 3-wide engine, you could use a 2-wide engine and some metal blocks to help balance the weight. But the biggest issue with this whole build is really just the seats. The wheels, you know, you could use the same 3x1 wheels that there are already in the game, and it's no big deal. And we're just doing stunts for days. I was really happy with this bike. I mean, it's not a very complicated build, obviously. Let's just see, maybe if we take this off the gas, will that make it any better, or is that still spin? Oh no, see, it catches randomly for no reason. You see that? I don't know why it's doing that. A little bit better, I guess, but see, yeah, it still catches. So, generally speaking, I found the easiest way to do that is just tap the steering when you're driving, and it usually works out pretty well. Let's just tap the steering here. Yeah, okay, let's get some nice jumps. So, obviously, this has very, very small tires. It's more like a street bike, if anything, or like a little trials bike, maybe, or something. Oh, goodness, just, oh, endos for days. It'd be nice if you could adjust the turning angle of steering without having to do the whole controller thing and AD converter thing. But overall, still just an awesome little pocket bike build, and it's a lot of fun to have a bike that's finally, you know, scaled to the size of, yeah, see, we're gonna bottom out here. But it's nice to have a bike that's finally scaled to the size of the dwarf people. That's kind of really what I was going for, and I really wanted to, you know, make something that just feels a little bit more like a bike. So of course I did make the little pocket bike, and I will upload this to the workshop. And then after I made the pocket bike, I said, you know what, we can use this same body and do a few different variations on the front fork and on the back fork. And of course we've got the larger tired, more cartoon version, but this one, you know, it handles a lot better on terrain, and it doesn't get those big jerks because the tires have a little bit more weight. You can see there it still does jerk, but it's a little bit easier to recover. So we've got larger suspension on the front, still got that big tire on the back, but we've got an extended sway arm, and we can just, you know, race a little bit easier. And of course this one doesn't have nearly as many issues driving. Still pretty much the same thing, but of course you start to lose. You can see as we get the bigger tires on, these are 5x1s, and you start to lose that realistic sort of look to it. But you know, these bikes drive really well. Oh, just jump in there. Yeah, nope, stop. Perfect. Okay, let's get up here. Come on, get up. You can do it. You can do it. Come on. Come on. No. All right, lean. Lean. Yes. Gotta love that abnormal suspension glitch. So I decided to make a bike with a sidecar, so you can have your buddy here sit in the sidecar. Nothing too fancy about that. But this one doesn't actually have any stability glitches. So the stability glitches are just basically kept at a constant angle with the controller. And it drives along really, really well. You can see there, it's a lot easier to drive the sidecar one with that extra weight, helping to keep it sort of balanced. And there is no power coming from the sidecar wheel. Oh, it's bottom. Oh, there we go. Perfect. But it does definitely help weigh the whole vehicle down and give it a little bit more weight, because the biggest problem with these pocket bikes is they're just way too light. So you are constantly turning away as the sidecar does try to pull it, but you can see there, it definitely takes corners a lot smoother when it's got the 3 wheels. Taking some nice jumps. And without the suspension glitch stabilizer, it doesn't seem to do that endo reverse 180 thing as much. Or maybe that's just because it's got the extra weight of the sidecar on it. But honestly, it doesn't really matter to me, because I think they're just hilariously awesome to bomb around in. And oh, it wasn't. That wasn't too good. Normally we actually can make that jump. If you can line up the small one, it will in fact make that jump. A lot of people have been talking to me about, you know, making little builds and small builds, and I kind of really like the look of these little bikes, and I hope you guys too. And if you guys also want me to make other little things, then make sure you post that in the comments down below. I was thinking about making like maybe little miniature cars and miniature quads and stuff like that, but I want to try and make like maybe a mini quad, but put some realistic suspension on as best I can, kind of like I did with these bikes here, with the proper swing bar on the back, even though they're small. But make sure you guys hit up that comment section down below, and let me know too which bikes you like the best. I will upload all 4 of them to the workshop, and oh yeah, of course you haven't seen the 4th one yet. You can see there we still can do that little trick, but after all those 3, I said, you know what, we have to do a massive chopper version. So this one's hilarious. It's got the extremely long arm on the front with a 3x0.5 wide tire on the front, and then a 5x3 tire on the back. Just a massive, massive tire. And of course, we sit up here nice and tall, and it does in fact lean into those corners. Now this one is just a bit ridiculous, but because of the weight of that back tire, it actually doesn't have a tendency to do the whole 180 flip nearly as often as the other ones, and makes it quite hilarious to drive. It will still try and do it though. But you can see there, it just kind of has a little bit more stability. Again, it all comes down to weight. I mean, maybe I should add in some of the modded heavy blocks or something. That might actually make it better. But you can see that this chopper one really just bounced it along here. That suspension really doing its job, but the terrain's still very, very bouncy. But definitely one of my favorite ones. And of course, just painted in a nice red and black color, because why not? But really, just hilarious with that big 5-wide tire. Oh, do it, yeah. All right, let's see if we can make this jump here. We should be able to. Come on, chopper. Oh, that bump at the end didn't do much. Oh, it ate all the speed. Get up there. Perfect. All right. I don't think any of these are going to make it up. There's a serious lack of ground clearance. I wanted to keep the wheels proportional to the height of the bike off the ground to try and make it look more like a real bike. Obviously, this chopper, you know, has a very high front end, but really just hilarious. And I really love the way that back wheel kind of bounces along across the train. Make sure you guys let me know what you want to see though in the comments down below. If you want me to do some more mini vehicles, I really like them. I think they're a lot of fun, and they're just a lot of fun to bob around with. And of course, I will upload all 4 of these to the workshop. They do use 3 mods, so they use the Durf mod pack beta, the mod pack itself, and then the mod pack polygons. But they are awesome little vehicles, so make sure you guys hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let me know what you would like to see in the comments. I definitely think I'd like to make a few more little vehicles, you know, little mini bikes like this. You can see there, it's still getting that 180 effect, but again, the weight of this vehicle is really just ridiculous. The vehicle is way, way too light. They're very light vehicles because they're very small, and all the blocks on them are made of metal that can be, but most part they're just small pipes to really give it that sort of motorcycle look. But make sure you guys hit those buttons down below, and definitely go check these out on the workshop because they're quite fun to drive around with. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all next time. All right, big job. Yeah, buddy. Sweet.